All right, everyone, welcome back to another commentary track brought to you by the greatest, not the best podcast. My name's David.
I'm Ivan.
And we're so grateful that you all survived the holiday season. Christmas is over, and the new year is upon us. Ivan, 2018, can you believe it?
No, not especially when I thought I wouldn't even be around this long, so...
Where the fuck did the time go, eh?
Yeah, fuck, yeah, you're right, actually, wow.
Wow. So, in honor of 2017, before we say RIP, we are going to honor the year by having a memorandum, a looking back on the movies that have came out this year. And we're going to do that to one of our favorite movies of the year, Logan Lucky. Would you agree with that, Ivan? This is one of your favorite movies of the year?
Yeah, definitely one of my favorite movies. I know we had a hard time deciding which one we're going to do, but Logan Lucky came out on top.
We went back and forth between which movie to do, and Logan Lucky was a great mutual one between the two of us, and so that's what we're going to do. All right, we have our movie set up at exactly 57 seconds. We have passed all the logos. The first line of dialogue is up. Jimmy says, now the story goes that John Denver. That is where we're at.
It's a blank screen, or black screen, I should say, as well.
Yes, there is nothing on the screen. Ivan, are you ready?
Yee.
Then give me a countdown.
3, 2, 1.
Fantastic. The movie is now playing. You know, this is the 7th. This isn't exactly the 7th, but John Denver has had a song in 7 movies this entire year.
Really?
Must be a good year for the John Denver estate.
Not bad. Man, how much money do you think, like, estates actually get, or, like, our artists actually get for, stuff like that? Or isn't there, like, a rule where, like, after a certain point in time, the music becomes public domain?
Yeah, I wonder if John Denver's... How old is this song? Is this song in particular? I don't know. But, yes, that is true. After a certain amount of years. But I think it's over 100 years.
Oh, wow.
So I'm thinking it's not in the public domain. But regardless of whether or not we're talking about John Denver, yeah, you got to pay a hefty amount to use music in movies. That's why these movies are so fucking expensive. That's why that's just why it's just so expensive to make movies.
Well, yeah, because you have to like buy the licensing, right? See,
Yep,
okay, that's actually why we had a discussion about this, because we were talking about Ready Player One.
Correct.
And we were both wondering, who are they actually going to get, because the novel like references like things left and fucking right, like
so
crazy.
many references.
And we were talking like it's going to be an expensive fucking movie to like actually get all those rights, and they probably won't even get all those rights, and they didn't. Obviously, there's already a few scenes that proven that, like for instance, Parsifal's DeLorean, which he modified, has an Ecto 88 license plate. But
That's
they couldn't get
from Ghostbusters, right?
Yes.
Right.
They couldn't get the rights to Ghostbusters, so they switched it up and put Parsifal on the license plate. Fun fact.
Ah, interesting. And I'm sure there's lots of other things. I'm sure there's a reason why there's the Iron Giant instead of the robot that was in the movie. I mean, in the book. There's just lots of things.
Yeah.
Licensing. It's very expensive. But it's manageable.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if, like, I don't know, their legal department like was having fun trying to acquire all these rights, or I don't know if that goes to the legal department. Is there like a specific department for that?
Who knows? I'm sure people know, but who cares? It was good to have John Denver in this. This is by far my favorite use of a John Denver song this year. I've seen a lot of fucking movies this year, Ivan. I'll start off on the bat. You're gonna be like, holy shit, David, you saw a lot of movies. I think this is 2017 is the year that I've seen almost damn near 100 movies.
Really?
Yeah, that's a solid triple-digit number, Ivan. I still have a few more to go before the year ends up. But yeah, I'm going to be close to 100 by the time we get through this list.
Oh, wow. And is it your goal? Is that like an arbitrary number you set for yourself? Or have you noticed that it's almost 100 and you're like, oh, shit?
So I keep track of the movies I watch because... for my own personal channel, I'm coming up on end of the year list, so I'm going through all the movies that I have seen, trying to compile a list of my favorites. So the number happens to be 100. I have been keeping a track of it years prior, but the highest I've ever been was about 60. So that's about double.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm glad that I have watched those many movies, because now I have more content to make for my YouTube channel, Ivan. More for my audience, Ivan. This is for them. This is who this is for, Ivan.
Oh yeah, such a sacrifice you put forth for your audience. Shut the fuck up.
Look, I just like watching movies. All right, movies are my life. So that's exactly why I watch so many.
Speaking of movies being your life, so why do you like this movie?
I like this movie specifically because of the characters.
At one point, I thought it was a really shitty segue. Just I acknowledge it. But anyway.
So I love Steven Soderbergh's directing, yes, and his style is all over this film in particular.
For the uninformed, give us a little.
So Steven Soderbergh is the director of Logan Lucky. He tapped out for a couple of years. He went to go work on a few like TV things.
Yeah.
And then Logan Lucky was his return out of retirement. He was mainly known for directing like the Ocean's trilogy.
Big fan of those.
Yes. And so this was kind of his return to form. After dropping out of Hollywood, he returned to make a little heist movie that in all respects does feel reminiscent of Oceans.
Yeah, no, it absolutely does 100%. In fact, that's one of the things that caught my eye. Actually, that's probably the only thing that really caught my eye about this movie at first. I remember seeing like some trailers or something like that compares it to the Oceans series.
Yes.
I remember you mentioning that to me, and like, there's no big secret. I'm a huge fan of the Oceans movies. Like, I fucking love them. I probably watch each one of them like at least once a month.
Wow.
Yeah. I love it, and this movie definitely. I mean, can we talk about spoilers in the movie? I mean, obviously
for Logan Lucky.
Yeah.
Okay, spoilers for Logan Lucky. I mean, we're watching a commentary track. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, just the way they go forth and like they have kind of like a basic plan that you think of, and then right at the end they kind of switch it around on you.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
That's like a key like Oceans. I'm sure it's like other heist films too, but like the Ocean series is like pretty much known for that. That's like one of the key things they do, and something I loved. And I loved about this movie as well.
Yeah, I in particularly like this movie because of its characters, because of the surprising amount of heart that I found this movie to have.
Yes, and this is why, that exact reason is why this movie, to me, actually barely beats out the Oceans franchise.
I would say so. I'd say I like this movie. I think it's a better overall film, and I think it's because it has heart. Oceans has a lot of style, a lot of flair, a lot of pizzazz, great acting, great writing.
Oh, all-star cast.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic cast of characters they have.
But there's almost nothing underneath all that.
Yeah.
There's not a pulsing heart, like there's no heartwarming scene.
If I remember correctly, after we both saw this movie, we talked on the phone and we were gushing about it.
Yeah.
And I remember we both said that the reason we liked it is because it feels like this could be about you.
Exactly.
It feels like this could be about the average. It's just a guy who wants to provide for his family.
He's just a dude. He's not a millionaire. He's not Danny
Ocean.
Yeah,
he's not Danny Ocean. He's not like a world traveled thief or anything. He's just a guy who got fired from his mining job or construction job and just wants a chance.
He's not doing this just for shits and giggles.
No.
And that's what makes Oceans fun, is that they rob places just for the sake of robbing places. But here, I understand why he's doing this.
Yeah.
His motivation is clear, and it's I understand it. He's an Oscar award winning film, maybe not. But I guess I thought it would be in a lot of other people's like best movie of the year list or in their top 10 lists. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it breaks my heart because this movie, personally, I feel like it definitely deserves to at least get some recognition.
Yeah.
Like, at least I'm mentioning, like, the top,
I guess I'm saying that because I was hoping that what the film ended up unfortunately lacking at the box office, it would make up in critics awards. So, you know what I mean? So it didn't make a lot of money at the box office, unfortunately.
No, it didn't. It really sad.
And so I was hoping like maybe it could have a push in I don't know what categories, editing or something, and it's just not receiving a whole lot of love, and that's just sad to me.
Definitely, especially when you see something that does deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not to diss any of the other great movies that came out this year.
No.
There are some fantastic movies that came out this year, Ivan, which we will go through in a little bit. But
it's just,
I just wish there was a little more room for Logan Lucky.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand if it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I love this movie. I really do.
Fantastic, and it was very highly rated amongst the critics, amongst audience members, the little audience members that did go out to see it. So it's just unfortunate.
So all right, you know me, and I dislike physical media.
Sure, yeah, you like digital media.
Yeah, I like digital. Having everything like available to me like that. Mm-hmm. So I rarely buy like hard copies of things.
Sure.
And the things I do buy hard copies of, like I have a particular reason because I really love it. I like the box art. I like just having it in my hands. You know.
Yeah.
Logan Lucky, and I buy movies, physical copies of movies, even less so than anything else. Logan Lucky is one of the few of the year that I'll actually purchase a physical copy of.
Yeah.
Just because I do think it deserves that recognition.
It does. And part of the reason why Steven Soderbergh left is because the studios didn't want to fund his movies anymore because they didn't make a lot of money. So he made this movie a lot out of his own pocket, and so that, you know, it saddens. That's even sadder because he funded this movie practically all by himself, and then no one went to go see it. I don't know. It's an interesting circle.
Would you ever see like a? So I mean, you can arguably say this is kind of like, you know, Ocean series and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Would you ever see like a Logan Lucky trilogy?
You know what? I think that was the intention, based off of how this movie ends with the FBI agent. Mm-hmm. I think the intention was
to set it up.
To set it up for a potential sequel. I can see it happening, but I don't want it to happen.
Okay.
I think this movie is a great standalone film. B, I don't think the Oceans is a great trilogy. I love that first one. I don't think Oceans 12 and Oceans 13 needed to happen because Oceans 11 is such a great movie on its own right.
I mean, I will argue with you. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really argue with you on 12. 12 was kind of like a weaker point for me.
It's one of the worst ones, yeah.
13 was great, though, but I think that's just because it goes back to its roots. All right, let me rephrase my question. How would you feel about like a Logan Lucky series, but not having Logan Lucky be the main protagonist, having it be like a different group of blue-collar workers?
I don't know, man. It all depends, you know. Like, it could be good, it could be shit.
I feel like I'm just saying yes to this because I love this, like, source material. I love this, like, just...
You like this as a foundation.
Yeah. And I want to see more of it. So I think that's why I'm pretty much just like...
I mean, maybe I'd be up for seeing Steven Soderbergh try, like, heist films in different genres. Since the Oceans series was more mainstream, this was obviously more about, like, hillbillies and rednecks. And I don't know. I'd like to see him try a spin on a different genre, maybe. But still keeping that heist theme going on. That could be interesting.
What thing? Kind of like a Three Kings, where it's like a military heist theme. Have you ever seen Three Kings?
Three Kings. That's with George Clooney too, right?
Yeah.
I think it's David O. Russell. No, I haven't seen it. I've heard good things, I think.
Fun fact, actually, I think George Clooney got into a fist fight with the director.
Yes, that's correct. David O. Russell and George Clooney. Never going to work together ever again.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like George Clooney was in the right with that argument.
I think David O. Russell was infamous for being very what's the word? The right word. He had some anger management issues, and I mean, because he makes some great movies. Like, so to what end, you know? I'm not keen on the details between what happened to George Clooney and David O. Russell, but I know that David O. Russell has gotten into it with other people before, so I'm sure what did happen probably was more in the fault of David O. Russell.
From my understanding, from what happened was there was like a worker, like I think it was like a sound guy or something like that.
Yeah.
Started having a seizure.
Oh.
And George Clooney, you know, being George Clooney, was like, "Oh shit, we gotta help him! Like right now, we gotta save him." And then David Russell started yelling, I think at the audio guy or George Clooney, like, "What the fuck are you doing? Get back to work!"
Yeah.
This and this, and George Clooney was like, "I'm gonna knock your ass out because like this dude's like obviously dying."
They legit almost got into a fight, right? Yeah.
So I mean, that's from what I hear. So.
Yeah. That was like 10 years ago. So yeah. I'm pretty sure David O. Russell has owned up to his mistakes by now.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. You want to get into some movies, Ivan?
Yeah, sure.
All right. One of the first movies that came out this year, I'm pretty sure neither of us saw, but it's a big one. It's Underworld, Blood Wars.
I actually did see this.
You did see this?
No, I'm joking.
Oh, you son of a fuck. How do you feel about the Underworld series?
Don't care.
You didn't see?
Nope.
Did you see any of them before?
Nope.
None of them.
No intention of.
So it was really big on the Underworld series when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I mean, come on, why are you laughing? I gotta be a bitch. Look, when Underworld came out, man, it was like no one had ever done vampires and werewolves like that before, and all the practical effects that went into it was pretty awesome. And I think it was like a call to the Matrix, and with how the cinematography, everything being all dark and trippy, and it was like the early 2000s. These new movies are bad. Yeah. And I think the only appeal now is going to see Kate Beckinsale in leather outfits, I think. That's the main reason why everyone... I mean, looking back on them, I don't like them so much. I actually like Rise of the Lycans the most, which I know is a very unpopular opinion. But it's really sad for me to see this franchise whizzle out the way it has.
What is it? Was it these like horror, like sci-fi franchises that get really shitty as time like Resident Evil?
I think there's a Resident Evil movie that also came out earlier this year. I don't remember, but it might have been last year.
I'm pretty sure it's like Resident Evil 28 or some shit.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I don't know. I don't think those movies were ever good to begin with. They just kept making money. And they were always just bad, and now they're just still bad.
Why do they make money?
It's because they're cheap to make. That's the thing with horror films. Horror films are cheap to make, and they make a profit. Boom, you make 7 more. As opposed to movies like this, like we're watching Logan Lucky. They're a little bit more expensive because they have higher quality to them, and henceforth they need more money to make a profit, and then they don't. There's
a production company. It's like the one who did Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, Blumhouse,
yeah, where like their whole like, I guess, like plan, or like their whole like, the way they work is they make a ton of horror movies. It costs like $20,000 to make. Yeah, and then like one of them is bound to get like really popular and make tons of money. Like,
and they make all their money back.
I think Paranormal Activity was shot for like under $20,000.
Yep.
And like look how big of a franchise it's gone.
We're gonna get into it. They had some huge hits this year, and we'll get into that in a little bit. I'd like to take a moment to go back into the movie. Talk about Adam Driver. I fucking love Adam Driver, man. He's Did you say cauliflower to me? I don't know. This is a great funny movie. I like how there's no fucking reason why he should have like no arm, but he has no arm, and it's such a character trait that he develops. I love this guy as an actor. Do you know he was a Marine before?
Really?
He was in the Marines, yeah. Oh, wow. Swear to God. In the new Star Wars movies, they try to make him be like a teenager with Rey. He's like a 40-year-old grown-ass man. Yeah, so he's seen some shit. But he's a great actor.
He's a great actor, absolutely.
Yeah. He has I think he has an organization. I wish I remember the name of it. I think it's to help like people in the Army or Marines get access to more entertainment media, like movies and stuff like that. I could be totally wrong about what the organization does, but I know he does have an organization, and it is Army Marine based. Okay. So just wanted a quick little shout out to Adam Driver there, because he is a great actor. And,
I want to say,
yep,
I absolutely couldn't tell that was Channing Tatum for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, that's Channing Tatum doesn't lose himself as an actor. Like, that's Channing Tatum through and through.
I mean, no, like art, like acting style, yeah, but I mean like a physical appearance.
He looks big as fuck in this movie.
Yeah. Not like buff big either,
but like
he's a dad. He's like a 40-year-old guy working the mines.
But you believe it. And it's so weird because when Channing Tatum first came out, he was in like those dance movies. I think it was Step Up. I want to say it was Step Up.
Yeah.
And who would have thought he'd be like one of these great actors? I mean, he's not the best actor. He's not like he's not going to be up for any awards, but fuck, he's really good.
He's good. He has potential. I'll say that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I think I don't remember if he was up for any awards. I think in 2014 he came out with Foxcatcher, where he was was it a boxer or a fighter?
Wrestler.
It wasn't a wrestler. Yeah, with Steve Carell.
Yeah.
I think Steve Carell got more awards contention than Tatum did that year.
Was that one of his like first serious roles?
like that serious. Yeah, he had never worked that serious on that level ever before. And
man, that must have been weird because like it's the guy from The Office killing people.
Yeah, that movie, that's hard to watch. That movie is hard to watch.
Yeah,
but it's the acting and the performances are phenomenal, and Channing Tatum is part of that, and he's come a long fucking way. I think Steven Soderbergh helped him kind of get to that point by casting him in Magic Mike, which is oddly a really good movie, and then he casted him again in I think Side Effects and now Logan. So Spielberg, Soderbergh, and Tatum obviously have a good rapport back and forth. So I'm glad that he was able to bring out the best in Tatum, and now we get to see him in great fucking movies all around. Yeah. It's not a great movie. So Ivan, are you aware that movies are based? Their release schedule is on the quarter system based off of taxes or some shit, and the start of the year, January, is what's called a dumping ground for movies. So a lot of the first movies we're going to talk about are complete and total shit. Yeah, I just want to get that right off the bat. Yeah, they don't know where to put a movie. They say, "Oh fuck it, let's put it in January." Do you remember the movie Monster Trucks?
Shut the fuck up. We're not going to talk. No.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
No. It has nothing to do with monster trucks, but there's a monster in his truck.
Yeah.
It was released by Nickelodeon. It had like an actor, I forget who was the actor. Lucas Till. He was in Manchester by the Sea and Lady Bird this year. So he was like, "Oh, this kid, he's up and coming, he's a great." And then he was in Monster Trucks. Like,
a part of me wonders if movies like this are just like a way to launder money. Because I feel like you got like a 5-year-old, like an executive's 5-year-old. He's like, make a movie about trucks and monsters.
If it was just for the money, they failed. The budget is $125 million, and that's not including like say marketing, because this movie did get pushed. And so guess what it made at the box office?
Like 5,000.
It made more than that. So it made $60 million. So it made half its production budget. So that's obviously horrible. Yeah. It's a bomb. But good.
No, there's nothing redeeming about this movie.
No, nothing redeeming. It's just a movie that came out, and henceforth I brought it up.
All right. To jump back into Logan Lucky real quick, yes. We just got introduced to Joe Bang, a.k.a.
Joe Bang.
Funny, absolutely character, but Daniel Craig.
Phenomenal.
Oh, dude, he killed this performance, and I think this is like his first, or at least first to me, like non-serious performance.
I think it is.
And holy shit, he did an amazing job at it.
Yeah, it's so good to see Daniel Craig being something so light, especially coming off of something like James Bond. Yeah. Where he just looks like he's bored in the role.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel like so many actors get stuck portraying the same archetype. Yeah. And they kind of just lose interest in it, or like, some of them, at least some people think like they can't even do anything else. Mm-hmm. And like seeing him in this, like a comedy, a lighthearted thing, to me it shows how well of an actor he is, because he's able to do it so effortlessly.
Yeah, I would love to see him be in a lot of other movies with absolutely. This exact style and tone, because it shows he has some range going on for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He has I think my favorite scene in the movie when he's trying to explain science to the guys, and he busts out the chalk and he's talking about scientific equations or whatever. I love that scene. Daniel Craig, good job, man.
Absolutely.
So speaking of shit movies, so this is where you get your horror movies. It's a weird time, and it's gonna happen with 2018. We got like Insidious coming out. We got there's this one movie where I don't know, these monsters, they hear you whatever you do, whatever. I don't care. So we got some horror movies in January. I don't think either of us have seen the first one. The Bye Bye Man.
Oh, I heard about. Like, some of my friends told me about this.
It wasn't that well received. It made its budget back. That's what I'm talking about when we talk about production budgets. It only cost $7 million, and it made $26 million. So even though, you know what I mean? Even if it wasn't well received, it made nearly 4 times its budget. And that's exactly why horror movies get sequels so effortlessly because they cost nothing and they turn a profit. I don't know. Is that the one where you're not supposed to say the Bye-Bye man's name or something? I don't remember.
I don't care.
There's a better horror movie that came out a few weeks after that. M. Night Shyamalan's return to form, Split. You see that one?
I have not.
That was surprisingly not shit. That was I liked that one. A lot of people love it. I like it. James McAvoy, he has like a split personality, Ivan, hence the title. He's like 10 different guys or something. But it exists, and this is the spoiler. Sorry if you haven't seen Split. You can mute it for 20 seconds. Connected to his movie Unbreakable. The one with Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson as Mr. Glass.
Yeah, I don't think I saw that.
Oh, it's a fantastic movie. I know a lot of people like to scoff at M. Night Shyamalan nowadays, but like Unbreakable was one of his best movies coming off of The Sixth Sense. It's a fantastic movie. So it was good to see him return to form because M. Night Shyamalan's name was just a laughingstock for the past few years.
Yeah, no, they made jokes of him. What a twist.
What a twist. And there was a twist in Split, but it was a good one, surprisingly. So you know what? Kudos to him.
Didn't he make that movie where the trees and plants are killing people?
And we're not talking about that one. Yes, the Happening.
Yeah.
I
think I saw that in high school.
Yeah, I think it came out. Yeah, we were young when that came out, man.
No, I think like I actually saw that in high school. Like a teacher brought it in.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
Why? To save the environment or something?
I don't fucking know. I hate that place.
That's not a good movie. That's Mark Wahlberg talking like this, and you need an interest in science.
Wow.
Moving on, we got XXX, Return of Xander Cage, Vin Diesel movie. A lot of people like XXX, right?
Can we just skip over?
We're talking about movies.
I know there's so many shitty ones.
We gotta get through the shit. That's just how it is, Ivan.
Gotta crawl through a mile of shit and clean on the other side.
You haven't seen any of the XXX movies before?
No, I've seen other. There's only one other one.
No, there's the first one with Vin Diesel, but then they made a sequel where Vin Diesel. Yes, I think it's with Ice Cube.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
Yes.
Damn.
I don't know why they made another one.
I remember thinking about that because Ice Cube has like the 3 little moles in his face. And I remember thinking like triple mole.
I'm pretty sure he makes a cameo in the movie. I don't know. I haven't seen it because I have no interest in XXX. But I mean, for people who like it, I guess see Ice Cube. I'm sure that was pretty cool. I don't care. Is the XXX? Is that like a program of like?
Yeah, it's like some sort of bullshit, like where it's like Daredevil stunt people. Don't quote me this because this is like based on my knowledge from like 15 years ago.
Yeah,
it's like some Daredevil stunt guys. And they're like, you're a government agent now.
I don't know. From what I've seen, this third one seemed to be based in a lot of extreme sports for some reason, and that just turned me off. Because I don't know. I don't know why I always thought the XXX franchise had something to do with like the post-apocalypse, and it's just not. It's just total nothing.
No, it's total bullshit.
It's just nothingness.
It's Fast and Furious before Fast and Furious became Fast and Furious.
I think that's really right. I think that's right on the money.
Yep.
Vin Diesel. I think the reason why this movie was made is because Vin Diesel is now hot since Fast and the Furious came out, and Vin Diesel's like, oh, what else can I redo? I'm Vin Diesel and I'm all about family. I'm also Groot, and I don't think this one worked out for him. Yeah. He should just stick to Fast and Furious.
He should just stop.
And I mean, he's fine as an actor. He's fine, but I don't think XXX is the franchise where he should continue. I think we can lay that one to rest.
Yeah.
Have you seen A Dog's Purpose?
You know, I was tempted to see this, and was like my lady friend at the time.
Yes.
And then we heard about the whole
the controversy involving the dog and some potential harassment issues with the dog. And
so like after that, we just kind of had a bad taste in our mouths about it. So we just kind of freaked out about it. You know, we said, it's not worth it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people felt that way. Did you think it was honestly gonna be a good movie though? No. It was just a good movie to take your date on. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, honey, a dog. Let's go see
the
this
dog
movie.
has purpose. Its purpose is to love.
I think the dog keeps reincarnating. Is that the?
Yeah, something like that.
And then eventually it returns to its original owner. Mm-hmm. It's fucking full of shit, man. It sounds stupid as hell. Look, if you like the movie, that's fine. But yeah, it's not for me. And I love going back to Logan Lucky right now. I love how stupid these characters are.
Oh my god, the brothers.
Yeah, the Joe Bangs brothers.
Yeah.
I specifically, there's a weird scene after this where they go to meet the bear, and then the bear just disappears. Yeah. It's so fucking random. But I love what this movie does best is poke fun at its characters, but it never undercuts how important they are. So you still care for them and you still empathize with them, even if they're fucking not all there. Yeah. You know what I mean? It could have been so easy to be just like, oh, look at these guys. They're so stupid and incompetent. But no, you care for them anyway. Yeah. And I think these two characters, along with, everyone else, is a great way to encompass that.
So, okay. So, I currently live in the area where, there's a lot of people who are pretty similar to the cast of characters here.
Yeah, sure.
In the South. And,
yes.
Like I asked them about this movie too because I was kind of curious when I first saw it. Like, how do you feel about this? Like, do you think it like makes fun of for lack of a better term, like the Southern folk or whatever? And they're like, no, I really. One of my friends said, no, I actually liked it and I really appreciate it because throughout, they have like stereotypes, and stuff like that. But throughout the whole time, you're never like, oh, these people are idiots or stupid,
right?
Because each one of them, like, they have a set of skills and they portray it right, and like they get their shit right, like they do it properly, and like. Yeah, they have some yucks and it's fun, but it's not like downright disrespectful.
Almost each character in this movie gets a chance to shine.
Yeah,
has one scene where you're like, oh, that was really cool.
Yeah, like I couldn't do that. Like,
yeah,
damn.
Right. So yeah, I really appreciate how they handled all their characters.
Absolutely.
You know whose characters I didn't appreciate in the slightest at all. Mm. So this is going back to our underworld. We got Resident Evil.
Oh, no.
The final chapter.
No, can we actually skip this one?
Now, do you think this is honestly going to be the last Resident Evil? No,
it's not. They're going to be like Resident Evil, the next chapter.
And this is what we're talking about, going back to budget. This movie only cost $40 million to make. That's not a fucking lot, right? Most of that probably just goes to Mila Jovovich, and then the rest probably just goes to CGI zombies or whatever.
Yeah.
It made $300 million. That's the profit. No matter how you want to look at that, that is a profit.
That makes me mad. Like, that makes me... You know what? No, I'm not going to be mad. If it's your cup of tea, it's your cup of tea. I just want to know why.
I mean,
this is the scene you were talking about. Sorry,
yes,
I interrupted.
This is the scene with the bear. It makes no sense, and I love it. He just hands them a bag, and he disappears. He doesn't walk off the screen. He just fades out.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
I love this movie, man. I'll never get it, but it's just great.
Cauliflower.
I love their accents too.
Oh yeah,
it's just right on the money. Resident Evil. It makes me mad. I think it makes most of that money overseas. So a lot of that money doesn't come from North America. It comes from overseas audiences for some reason. I'm not sure why. They obviously have different tastes than we do. Mm-hmm. But what makes me so mad about the Resident Evil franchise is because it has nothing to do with the fucking video games.
It's really big in like Japan, I think.
Yeah.
Like Biohazard and stuff.
That's
what they call it over there.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's almost like the fucking video games and like the movies are just two separate franchises at this point.
They really are. I mean, and that's fine, but I don't understand why. The video games were small horror films about survival, and it was slow paced and it was frightening. These movies are just actiony and
no, I wouldn't say that.
I mean, fucking the first 3
and 4, the first 4.
4. I mean, yeah.
But like once you start getting towards 5, it kind of got weird. And was 5 the one with Chris Redfield and
yes,
and what was 6?
That's the one with everyone. That's the one where they're crossed.
Oh, the
Their
giraffe.
paths crossed all over. Yeah, the image thing? With the giraffe. Yeah. Yeah. That's the one where all the stories intermingle. There's like 3 campaigns and they all intertwine.
See, that was like super like running gun style. That's from what I remember.
Yeah, but by the time those games had came out, Resident Evil had been around for like 20 years. Yeah. Like they needed to reinvent the games.
I feel like they're always remaking 4.
I think
like,
you're right.
I think I played 4 on like 8 different consoles at this point.
Because Resident Evil 4 is like the gold standard for video games in that era.
Oh yeah.
Resident Evil 4 is a classic. And I don't think anything will ever come close, which is why they needed to kind of do things differently.
Yeah.
But these Resident Evil movies, they're all the fucking same. They're all the same movie. They're Mila Jovovich just fighting monster things. There's nothing else. There's no layers. There's no depth. She's just... I don't remember if she's a clone or not, if she's a clone of a clone. You know what I mean? Because they remember the clone thing. It was a huge deal. She's not the original Alice or whatever. And who cares? I don't know.
So, okay. The funny thing, I saw one of the Resident Evil movies when I was younger with my dad.
Yeah.
And my dad, like, he has a really low fucking standard for movies.
Okay.
That's probably one of the lowest standards ever for movies.
Yeah, sure.
I think shitty movies are good. We left to see after Resident Evil, and he was like, "Mijo, that was really shitty."
You remember which one? I mean, it could have been any of them.
It was one where like there's like a desert, and
I think that was Extinction.
Yeah, like it's like there's like a gas station. It turns out to be like a secret base.
Yeah. They're all secret bases.
Oh, dude, that surprised me because I was like, "Wow, this must be really shitty." Then,
you know, this whole franchise is based off of. Like, a secret organization is profiting off of the fact that the T-virus has killed the whole world, and, like, they're making money off it.
How?
That's what I'm saying! How are they making money?
And nobody laughed! They were just, like, sitting with, like, all their money, like, what do we do now? And nothing. We can't buy anything with this. It's worthless. Dead.
It means nothing anymore. Why did the world turn into a desert in the third one? If they
can we just move forward?
Because they turned the world into the desert and then they unturned it again from not being a desert because now everything's like ice and cold and whatever.
All right.
Look, I think the plan is to reboot the franchise, and if they do, thank God, and if they do. Let's try and make it not anything like these movies. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's try and make a movie that's made for $4 million, has no one we know, and it's a little horror film about survival.
If they do that, if they go back to having survival horror like film,
yeah.
You know me, I am not a fucking horror guy at all.
Yeah.
Like I refuse to go see almost any horror movie. I would give it a shot.
I think if they do it that way, it deserves a chance.
Yeah.
Because I mean, even Japan, they make the Biohazard. They make it, and every now and then they make a short film, but it's all in CGI. Even those are pretty bad because they're just action-packed nonsense. They don't have anything there, nothing underneath, you know. And I feel like the original games, they had something there, and you just gotta tap back into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, so we're still on horror, Ivan. We got Rings. Have you seen any of the Ring movies?
Oh, no. I don't care about this either.
That's the one with the girl that she comes out of the TV.
7 days.
Yeah. I don't know how you make a Ring movie nowadays. I think they tried incorporating it, right? Nowadays, like modern era. Like,
oh, you play this video on your phone.
I think they... I don't know. The premise sounds... It's a premise that sounds outdated already. Because of the whole videotape aspect, and now everything's digital. That's why it's hard to make a horror film in the modern era, because anyone would be smart enough to just know to use their cell phone for certain things, you know what I mean? That's why most horror films are like set in the past where none of this technology existed. Yeah. And so I think when you bring a franchise like this to the modern era, it's just silly. It's just why. Sometimes it can work, for sure.
You get lost in the woods, so you just pull up Google Maps.
Oh, I got no service. Oh, yes, I do.
What are we talking about?
I got 4G. But yeah, it's another. It cost $25 million and it made $80 million. I'm pretty sure that's less than the other films in the Ring franchise, but it's still enough to make a profit. So
it's a profit. So yeah,
whatever. I heard the first. Isn't that based off of an original foreign film from like Japan or something?
Yeah.
Is that any good?
No. I don't. Like I said, I don't really watch much horror.
Horror's not,
especially Japanese horror.
I'm sure that can get really weird.
Yeah, it gets
really out there. I think we're moving away from horror films now, and we got The Space Between Us. We got a sci-fi.
The Space Between Us. Now, tell me about this.
I think this is the one with the boy. He's on Mars. He was born on Mars. Yes, it is this one. He was born on Mars, and he's trying to come down to Earth, but he can't because of his bone structure. Like, he would die. So he falls in love with the girl or something and has to be kept on Mars and whatever.
I honestly can't say I've ever heard about this movie before.
I think, is that the guy from the boy from Ender's Game? Yeah, Asa Butterfield? No.
I don't
Look,
think I've ever
man,
heard about this movie.
apparently no one else did. It only made $14 million at the box office.
What
That
was
was
the budget?
$30 million. Ooh, yeah, so didn't do so well. Box office bomb, and I guess there's not much to say. I guess I could just move on.
Yeah, all right. Let's move on.
Because the movie got pushed like 4 or 5 different times, and so you push a movie so many times, people are gonna forget your movie exists. You got the Lego Batman movie, Ivan. Did you ever see the Lego movie?
Yeah, I have. Fun fact. So me and my lady friend at the time.
Yes.
We went to see this movie.
Which one? Lego Batman or
Lego Batman?
Yeah.
We just picked a random movie to go see because we
Yeah.
were both pretty bored. I think we were off classes that day. We ended up walking out the theater maybe 30 minutes into the movie.
Why?
We just couldn't do it.
What?
And you know what? I didn't even complain or was like, this bullshit. Because, you know, some people be like, oh, I want my money back. No, we just walked out.
What?
We're like, you know what? This isn't for us. We're not the target audience for this movie.
Okay.
There's nobody in there. It was like a Tuesday afternoon. There's like maybe one like parent there with a kid. And it's like, you know what? Let's just go.
I love this movie.
Really?
Ivan, this is one of my favorite movies of the year.
Really?
I swear to God, I fucking love this movie.
I couldn't. I just fucking couldn't.
This movie, I think, is hilarious. It has like nonstop humor. It just keeps going, and it has a lot of different humor.
I just thought the humor in it was really shitty.
Shitty in the sense like it's just childish, as in that's why you thought it wasn't for you. Like it wasn't clever, witty. It was just here's joke, haha.
Yeah.
And it's very self-referential, and it references the history of Batman. To me, it comes across as a great spoof movie. Like, we don't get a lot of spoof movies nowadays. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? And as a movie that's specifically not meant to be taken so seriously, I really appreciate its lighthearted nature.
You know, I can see that, but just for me, I just couldn't. Like, I mean, it was hard.
It's not your tune. It's not your tune. Yeah. I mean, it's a fucking movie about animated Legos. Like, obviously, it's not for everyone. But I love this movie. So, phooey on you, Ivan. I mean, look, that weekend it was between Lego Batman or 50 Shades Darker. So what are you gonna go see, Ivan?
50 Shades Darker.
No, fuck that. Oh, look, if your girl wants to see 50 Shades Darker, fine. No, that's not fine. Those are shitty movies. Those are shit movies. The Lego Batman is a far superior movie. And if your girl wants to see that, then I have respect for that girl. If she actively wants to see a movie that is funny and lighthearted in nature, then just dry porn for the sake of watching dry porn. Like, what is the appeal to 50 Shades Darker?
Alright, alright.
Have you seen 50 Shades Darker?
No, I haven't.
Did you take it with your girlfriend, Ivan, at the time, Ivan?
No.
Did you see the first one?
No, I actually didn't.
Those movies are shit, man.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine.
They're based off, you know this, they're based off of Twilight fan fiction.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, let's skip forward.
There's another one coming out this upcoming year, Ivan.
Yeah, there is. Wow.
50 Shades Freed, Ivan. This is where she meets this other guy, and she's like, I can't, I'm married, but you're so sexy, though.
So, alright. Fun fact, this might get a little graphic. I have a buddy who used to work at AMC.
Yeah.
Or he used to allegedly worked at AMC.
Okay.
You know, he says that when like the 50 Shades movie came out, that one we're talking about right now,
yeah,
he actually found a used sex toy on the ground in the theater.
What?
Yep.
That's nasty.
Yep.
Look, girls like to say men are sick, but they got some things inside them, Ivan. That wasn't a pun. They got deep down inside them, they got this nasty shit going on, Ivan.
Right.
I think 50 Shades that brings them out is there not there? I guess there's 50 Shades brings out a niche audience that there's not really other movies like this for that audience. You know what I mean?
Or at least in the mainstream.
Yeah, it's strange to say, and I could rip on these movies all day, but at the end of the day, there are women that want to see this type of material. And these movies
There's
are just...
both men and women who want to see the fetish community, yeah.
And these movies are offering that to them. Maybe, I don't know, there could be a better quality for that. I don't know where you start with that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just because it's so taboo.
Yeah.
Currently, I feel like it's getting better, but it was so taboo at least at the time when this movie first came out. The whole
it's risque.
Yeah.
You went to go see 50 Shades. Oh.
So I think that's why, and like you said, it definitely has a target demographic.
It's the equivalent of those 40-year-old wives who read those novels. You know what I'm talking about? Those sex novels, and they have the love stories. It's just that on the big screen.
Yeah, I'm
surprised more of those aren't adapted to mainstream audiences.
So I mean, like you said, we can knock on it all day and night, but at the end of the day, I mean, it has its audience, and I guess we have to respect that.
You're not wrong there, because it's perfect counter programming. That exact week, see, you got the kids movie and the Lego Batman. This was a great week for film. You got the Lego Batman movie for the kids. You got 50 Shades Darker for the women. You got John fucking Wick for the men, Ivan. Yeah. Just shoot them up, guns blazing. You take your girl to see 50 Shades, and you're like, all right, babe, now we're going to go see John Wick, because I want to see Keanu Reeves shoot a bunch of people in the face.
Yeah.
That movie's awesome. You checked out John Wick?
Yes, I have.
What do you feel about those movies?
I like the first one a little bit better than the second one.
I agree.
But, I mean, if you go into it with the mindset of, I just want to see mindless violence and nice, like, choreographed fight scenes.
Excellently choreographed.
Absolutely. This is for you. This is absolutely for you.
Yes.
Don't go in there expecting, like, a plot. Don't go in there expecting, like, Spectre or...
No.
No, like, as long as you go with that mindset, you'll have a fan-fucking-tastic time. And Keanu Reeves actually did a lot of 3-gun training for this.
Yeah. There's lots of behind-the-scenes footage that you can find on YouTube or whatever. Like, you can see Keanu Reeves actually practicing his stunts and going through the motions, and it's really awesome to put that much detail into it.
Yeah, he's actually a pretty decent 3-gunner. Are you aware what 3-gun is?
No.
It's a live fire, like, target practice where you continuously move to different, like, locations, but you use 3 guns: pistol, rifle, and shotgun. And he's surprisingly pretty well at this.
I mean, he's dope. He's a great actor.
No, fantastic.
Very underrated.
Fantastic man in general too.
Yeah, just his lifestyle in general. Yeah,
good character.
Cool guy. Yeah. Keanu Reeves, that guy.
Down to earth.
I'm looking forward to seeing the third movie. I just want to see Keanu Reeves shoot some guys in the face.
Yeah.
Keeping up with the movie, we're getting to the heist. Everyone's going through the motions of what their plan is going to be. We saw Joe Bang's brothers had a fun conversation over the phone. We're on a phone, cell phone. We got like a landline. You don't see landlines anymore, Ivan.
No.
Those don't exist. So we're seeing the plan unveil. I liked that they were initially supposed to rob a smaller event, a smaller venue, and then it was revealed in Channing Tatum's plan where shit happens. It was the Coca-Cola race. Yeah. Because it just puts pressure on the characters, it raises the stakes, and it helps me believe that these characters weren't dicks, because they obviously weren't trying to aim for something so high. Yeah. They were trying to get something smaller, and then just by chance, it happened to be this big-ass race.
And actually, because they talk about it, like, in the movie, Joe Bang's brothers, they're like, we're not going to be on board with this unless you give us, like, a reason why it's justified.
Yeah.
And they give it to, like, the Rite Aid people.
They pull something out their ass.
Yeah, they pull something like, this is the Rite Aid race, or I'm not sure if it's actually Rite Aid, like pharmacy or whatever, but it's some sort of, it's like their race, and, they did us wrong because...
their sister and...
something or other, and they're like, justifiable, that's horrible, let's go. And then they have to justify it with Coca-Cola,
like you lied to us about our morals. Like, it's great.
Fantastic.
All right, I got 3 movies, Ivan. I think we're just gonna rush through them because I haven't seen any of these 3. I'm sure you haven't. You got The Great Wall. That's the one with Matt Damon.
All right.
The Wall of China.
Next one.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
The one with the monsters?
Yep, I do.
Matt Damon?
Next one.
Why did they cast Matt Damon?
Let's go.
You know what? I think this is weird.
Forward.
This is weird because a lot of people like to complain about whitewashing, but I believe this was a Chinese director who specifically wanted Matt Damon because they liked Matt Damon over there, and he knew he would sell more tickets if he would cast Matt Damon. Yeah, he is a Chinese film director, confirmed, and is that whitewashing if he casts Matt Damon, or is that okay? I don't know, Ivan. Look, he's fighting Godzilla monsters. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
You have any interest in seeing that movie, Ivan?
No, I don't.
Never gonna see that movie.
Okay.
You asking me who the director is of Drive? Yeah. That's Nicholas Winding Refn. He does that too.
Yeah.
Only Nicholas Winding Refn makes a lot of movies that are frustrating. He does that to an extent, like on purpose. I'm gonna look at my art. Yes. But I mean, the same principles apply. It's just his movies are a lot more divisive than Soderbergh's.
Yeah.
Soderbergh knows how to appeal to the mainstream while still making things that are different.
Okay.
Have you seen A Cure for Wellness?
No. All right.
Look, I don't know what to say about A Cure for Wellness. Yeah, it's a Fox movie. It's a movie that came out this year.
Fox.
R.I.P. Fox. Like I read a lot of articles when people complaining why Disney bought Fox, and they pointed to this movie, A Cure for Wellness, saying, "Oh, you're never gonna get movies like A Cure for Wellness under the Disney regime." And it's like,
who cares?
Who the fuck cares about A Cure for Wellness? It wasn't well received. It didn't make a lot of money. Why?
Can you put up the numbers of that?
Why? Yeah, sure thing. I think it does it have Dane DeHaan or does it have another director? I'm not sure. I mean, another actor. Gore Verbinski. It's an interesting director. Ooh, this is what you call a bomb, Ivan. $40 million
budget. Okay.
Made $26 million.
Ooh. Well, justified.
It was Dane DeHaan and it was Gore Verbinski. Gore Verbinski. Let me see. What his name is familiar. I'm pretty sure he's made some good films so far. All right, we're moving on. I guess he did.
Next one.
Look, Gore Verbinski, for anyone, since I brought his name up so many times, you got The Lone Ranger. Bleh. You got the first 3 Pirates of the Caribbean films. Yeah, whatever. And you got Rango. That Johnny Depp movie when he's a lizard.
Yeah.
Okay, so... Sorry, Gore Verbinski. Didn't mean to call you out like that. Look, whatever. It's a whatever movie. Oh. It's a movie about trying to cure wellness. Yeah. What does that even mean? Why would you want to do that? There's nothing wrong with the state of wellness. If you're well, then you should be fine. I don't know.
All right, going back to the Logan Lucky for a quick second. I love the prisoners in this movie.
Prisoners are fucking great.
Oh, I love
They're just like some guys. They're just there.
Like they started a riot and stuff, and they're just both like, yeah, we want demands.
And then their demands are totally absurd. Like the Game of Thrones getting the book. They want the Game of Thrones. Like that's their demand. Yep. Like they're so full of shit. I love it. They're just playing along, for the ride. Good shit. You seen Fist Fight?
Yeah, I have actually.
You've seen Fist? Yeah. What was that? Charlie Day?
Charlie Day and Ice Cube. Did it have a different name at first?
It might have.
I think it had like Teacher Fight or something like that.
I think it might have. I don't think you're wrong there.
But yeah, I totally saw that movie.
How was it?
It's exactly how you expect it to be.
A whole lot of nothing?
Yeah, a whole lot of nothing.
Comes and goes?
I mean, it has a few yucks in there, so it's whatever.
Yeah.
Did Barbershop come out this year?
No, Barbershop came out last year.
Oh, okay, just wondering.
The final cut?
Right?
Yeah. It was a good movie.
Yeah, it was alright. I liked it.
Ice Cube, he has an interesting filmography, that Ice Cube.
Yeah.
How do you feel about him as an actor? You like him as an actor?
Oh, he's alright, I guess. I don't know.
I think he knows how to play to his strengths.
Yeah.
He's not going to win any awards or whatever, but he knows how to be Ice Cube really well. And that's important.
Yeah. Didn't his son play him in NWA?
Yes, he did. In Straight Outta Compton, yeah. His son. He's in another movie. I don't remember the name of it. I believe we will get to it when we get through this list.
Okay.
Then we have an important horror movie, Blumhouse. We have one of the best movies of the year.
Get Out, yeah.
Get Out. Did you see this one?
Yes, I have.
How do you feel about it?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I didn't love it. A lot of people like love this movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
I really like it. What I think I like best about it is that it feels like a long episode of The Twilight Zone.
Okay, I can get that. I dig that.
Yeah. Obviously it has very relevant social commentary. It has great acting all the way around. And Jordan Peele. Who would have thought Jordan Peele, the half of Key and Peele, would have directed this movie, right?
Yeah. I feel like what you said, a lot of people love it. And I feel like a lot of people love it, not necessarily for the film itself, but for what it stands for.
It's a very important movie.
Yes. Definitely. Especially like now.
Yeah, it has the right amount of like twists and turns, and because when you see the trailer, you're like, what the fuck is this about?
Yeah.
And then you're like, this really is a movie about something. It has a lot to say, and that's what I mean why I'm so disappointed with movies about like Resident Evil. Obviously, they're two totally different things, but Get Out has a lot to say. As this small fucking little horror movie, it feels so expansive because it's going for a lot. You know, it has a lot to say, and it's going down swinging, and Resident Evil is just a bunch of nothing.
Yeah.
It's so big, but it's just so nothing and so inconsequential. And Get Out, it was a good movie. Good on Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
This is where, getting back into that Blumhouse situation, this movie only costed $4 million to make.
Wow.
It essentially has a bunch of nobodies in it, and there's hardly any special effects. You know, it's just a movie.
Over 200 million, I'm guessing.
$250 million.
Wow.
That's, I don't even, what is the math on that? Like, that's a huge uptake. Like, that's a box office hit. That's a bona fide hit, man. Like, there's no way around that. Good on him. I definitely want to see what Jordan Peele has to do next.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because a lot of people like want him to direct their movies now. Like they're actively seeking him.
Yeah, I heard about this.
Yeah, I think he was being talked for Akira live action. I think he turned it down, but still studios are showing interest in him. I'm actually glad he turned down Akira. Because a lot of studios nowadays, they do this where they pluck an independent director and then they're like, all right, make this huge blockbuster movie now. And I think that wouldn't have been best for Jordan Peele. Yeah. You know, he only made one independent movie. Let him make movies he wants to make with something that he wants to say, and eventually he'll build up to making those bigger movies. You know what I mean? Don't just launch him into it where like any director could have directed it. It just happened to be Jordan Peele. No, let him direct the movies with his style all over it. You know what I mean?
Let him build up his style. Let him find himself.
Absolutely. Let him fail at some movies. But let's see what Jordan Peele movies look like.
Yeah.
Good shit. Going back to the movie, how do you feel about Sebastian Stan in this?
Dude, it was so weird.
He's very odd in this movie. He's one of the weaker parts in it for me.
Yep, for me too, honestly.
The whole bit, him and Seth MacFarlane. Seth MacFarlane draws me out of this movie too. He just feels like he's in a cartoon. Or like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm Seth MacFarlane. I got a southern accent and I'm a NASCAR driver and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, I get it. Whereas everyone else, they kind of feel real to me.
Yeah.
Sebastian Stan and Seth MacFarlane, not so much.
Okay.
Heard about the movie Rock Dog?
No.
It's an animated movie about a dog who wants to play rock and roll, Ivan.
All right, next movie.
Logan.
Hey.
Yes, that's a movie. That's a fucking movie. That's the one hell of a movie, man. That is my favorite movie of 2017.
Really?
Logan, I think, hits like all cylinders. Like everything I would have wanted out of that movie. It handled it with such grace, and it was so fucking awesome. It's violent, but it never undercuts the emotional heft of the movie. And I mean, like, what a way. It's not the end to the X-Men franchise, but what a way for these characters to feel like they had their proper send-off. You know what I mean? it feels like where the X-Men franchise probably should have ended, even though it is technically going on, even though it is technically going to eventually stop since Disney bought it. Like this would have been the movie to go out on, man. It's perfect on like every level for me. We've seen Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart be these characters for like 17 years now, and this is the best they've ever been.
Yeah, no, definitely. Matured was age.
Oh yeah, and it's made like it's a neo-noir western gritty film. It's just not your typical Hollywood blockbuster. It's not how your typical X-Men movies are.
Yeah.
It's much more grounded and it feels like an anti-Hollywood blockbuster film because it feels like a truly independent movie with like a Hollywood skin over it. Just good. Series is a classic film, so you couldn't go wrong trying to make that live action. It was fine. I agree with you. It was alright for what it was trying to do. I like the casting. The music was great, but I mean the music was great in the original. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I need to see every fucking Disney movie be remade into a live action film, but whatever, they're gonna do whatever they're gonna do to make money. It is currently the top grossing movie of 2017. Star Wars will eventually beat that. It's only in its second week, and it's already made the top 10 of highest grossing films of the year. So Star Wars will top Beauty and the Beast. But yeah, I think a lot of people had a lot of interest in seeing it, and they all came out in droves. Ivan, it's a classic movie. It's a tale as old as time.
Yeah.
I was referencing the song.
I don't care.
Tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. Shut up, Ivan.
Next one.
You suck. Have you seen the Belko Experiment?
No, I wanted to.
That's the James Gunn one. He didn't direct it, but he wrote it.
I wanted to. I just never got around to it, honestly. It was just, I don't care.
It sounds like an interesting premise. I mean, it's guy stuck in a building or whatever. There's another movie stuck in a building that's with a similar premise that I'll talk about later.
I want to talk about another movie that came out a real bit around that time. It was actually the same day. Trainspotting 2.
Did you see it?
I have not, but I had a buddy of mine who he's a little bit older than me. He loved the original Trainspotting.
Oh, to interject. The scene talking about potassium combined with the chloride and the fucking gummy bears. This is an excellent scene. I love the hard cut. The hard cut
to him drawing out the formula.
That is a fantastic edit, man. No. It gets me every time because he's in the middle of explaining it, and then he just draws out the equation.
And once again, we go back to this guy. He's not just some fucking dummy who knows you combine two chemicals. No, he knows the math behind it. He knows the science behind it, and he's trying to explain it. They're all just fantastic characters.
Yeah, he knows his stuff. So no matter how stupid he may come across, he clearly is an intellectual person. He's a person. He feels like a real character because he has different shades to him, different levels, layers to him. Love the scene. I did not like T2 Trainspotting.
You saw it.
I did see it.
Oh.
I didn't care for it.
I mean, I know the original Trainspotting has a big following, right?
Yeah, Trainspotting. A lot of people. It was a strong movie for independent films in the 90s. It was it brought off this weird wave of 90s independence film, and it's an important movie for what it did in the 90s, but I don't know, this movie was just a whole lot of nothing to me. It was the same movie. It didn't try anything new. It was just the same guys, and they were in the same spot as they were before, and it was based off of where the first one ended, I just expected these characters to kind of have grown in the past 20 years, and it's just they're kind of stuck in the same spot. I think that's the theme of this movie was time, whatever. But I don't know. Trying to think back on it, it's harder to remember anything that really stood out to me about the movie, which is sad because the first one has a lot of weird imagery that sticks out to you, like the scene with Ewan McGregor diving into the toilet bowl.
Oh.
That there's a lot of just weird shit like that, but there's nothing as memorable in the new movie. It's the same director too, so Danny Boyle. So I was sad. Did you see Power Rangers though, Ivan? Power Rangers was part of your childhood, Ivan? In the 90s, Ivan?
Yeah, I
Did you actually used to watch the Power Rangers?
Yeah.
Did you see the new movie?
No, I didn't.
It's...
The way
it exists.
I know the Power Rangers were shitty.
Yeah.
And
You've accepted that.
I have accepted that, and I don't want to disturb that. You know, I don't want to like ruin my childhood by
that piece of nostalgia that exists. Yeah.
It's like, you know, I know it's bad and it's okay. I'm just gonna let it be.
It's so different. It has similar imagery, but ultimately it's so drastically different in tone that it might as well just be something else. It keeps the spirit, I guess, of the original series, but it's whatever. It's fine. My biggest issue with it is that I don't give a fuck about any of the kids. Like, they're assholes. Like the opening scene is like the main character, which is the Red Ranger. He's like, he stole a cow and he brought it into the school, like his high school, and then he gets detention for it, obviously, because that's a stupid assholey thing to do.
If I brought a cow into school, I would not get attention. My ass would be expelled.
So he brings a cow into detention. He brings a cow, and the police are chasing him because obviously he brought a fucking cow. And then he crashes his car with the friend in it. And then his dad gets mad at him, and he's like, "What are you doing? You know, you just threw away your scholarship. You were so good in football. Like, you're a senior, and then your high school career was almost over, and you just blew it all away because you wanted to be stupid." And he's like, "You'll never understand me, Dad. Blah."
No, his dad has a point.
Yeah, look, I just didn't buy the teenage angst, and the whole movie is like just like a series of events like that, where the characters do stupid things, and then like, y'all, you just don't understand me, and you expect me to care for them. Like, no, I don't care for you if you make stupid, childish decisions like that. So they didn't earn my empathy, and so I didn't care when they all came together as giant dinosaur robots or whatever. It was great product placement for Krispy Kreme, though.
Oh, God.
Dude, the climax takes place in a Krispy Kreme donut.
All right, what's next?
Life. The Jake Gyllenhaal, Ryan Reynolds. They're on a spaceship, and there's an alien.
Oh yeah, I think I remember this.
It's like an alien symbiote, and it transforms. It like grows. It's basically a remake of Alien.
Okay.
It's whatever. There's nothing. Alien is such a classic film that paying homage to it a little too much, I think, was its ultimate downfall, because there's so many scenes that are so similar to Alien that I just kept thinking about Alien, and it just made me want to watch Alien. And the ending I thought was silly. I won't spoil it. It's not a big spoiler. I just didn't care for it because I saw it coming a mile away, and it was like, oh, whatever. We didn't need this. Which is sad because it was the same writers who wrote Deadpool, which is weird because they're like a comedy duo, and I think this was their attempt in trying to make something more serious. I don't think it really worked out for them. Yeah. The CG was whatever, and whatever. You heard of Chips?
Yeah. Nah.
I think it is one of the worst movies of the year.
Really?
I haven't seen it, but that's what I'm hearing.
Okay. The only thing about this movie that piqued my interest was the motorcycles.
I think it's based off of like an old television series.
Yeah.
I think this movie was trying to be 21 Jump Street. You know, when that movie came out and everyone was like, why is this based on an old Johnny Depp television series?
Yeah.
And then you saw the movie and it was awesome and it was hilarious and it was irreverent. And then I think Chips was trying to be that. And I don't think...
You can't do that.
I don't think it was. So, whatever. We got Ghost in the Shell. Hey, we have some history with Ghost in the Shell.
Right.
Hey, our first commentary track. How do you feel about Ghost in the Shell? Even now, after looking back on it.
My opinion really hasn't changed.
It's a whole lot of whatever.
Yeah.
It's beautiful
movie. Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Gorgeous, like, visuals. Aesthetics are like on point. It just didn't pack that punch.
No.
That even the original anime had.
Yeah, no.
It just wasn't as... I don't remember a lot other than Scarlett Johansson running around in a naked bodysuit.
Yeah, that's pretty much all.
That's That's pretty much it. I mean, if you want to know any more of our thoughts on the movie, you can watch our commentary track. It was the first one. It's our second highest rated. So I think we've said a lot on Ghost in the Shell. Seen The Boss Baby?
No, I have not. I have no plans to.
I have no plan. I mean, I like the idea of Alec Baldwin playing a baby. Like, that in and of itself sounds like a funny, like, Saturday Night Live sketch. I don't think I need to see a whole movie on it. So, apparently a lot of people liked it or whatever. Zookeeper's Wife, I was interested in, and then I heard it was fine, and then never got to see it. Yeah. I think it's something about Germany. I think it might have to be in, like, World War II, and it has Jessica Chastain. And she's in a zoo.
Yeah.
I don't know. It has interesting ideas in there. You know what that's all I know. There's some Germany, zoo, wife, and I don't know.
It didn't do too well, honestly. I think it was $20 million budget, maybe $23.2 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I remember I was interested, and then just nothing happened. And they made another fucking Smurfs movie?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
God. They need to stop making Smurfs movies. They haven't made a single goddamn good one. I think this one was animated and still sucked. You know what? Is this Sony Pictures? It is Sony Animation. Sony Animation has to be the worst animation studio there possibly is. They have a couple more. I'm sure we'll get into this year. Fuck, they just get me mad. They just get me mad. That studio. I have nothing wrong with the animation style. Just they need to hire like new writers, and we hate on Sony a lot, and it's because they make shit movies.
Yeah, no. They definitely corner the market for shitty movies.
They have a niche market for shit, and they just cover it. That's what they do. I'm just gonna move on. I don't have a lot to say about that one. Anne Hathaway plays an alcoholic in Colossal. I don't know, it's an independent movie. It's interesting. I know not a lot of people have seen it. If you like Anne Hathaway, she gives a pretty decent performance in it. I saw another comedian's in there. I forget his name. Oh, Jason Sudeikis. It's an interesting movie. It has some parallels, I think, to North Korea. There's like two timelines going on. One is in North Korea, and it has a giant monster. The other one's Anne Hathaway. She's an alcoholic.
Oh.
And how the movie and how the two storylines interact. It's interesting juxtaposition. It's not a great movie. It's not one of the most memorable movies I've seen, but it's interesting. And if you like kind of weird stuff like that, I think it's an interesting thing to see. Next, we have Gifted. This is a movie about a smart girl. She's gifted, obviously. I fucking love this movie.
Really?
This movie, it's mixed. It's down the middle. I think it has like a 60 on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't remember what its budget was. But, man, this movie just touched my heart, man. Just, it felt like a classic, like, 90s film. Just like a good old, like, family-friendly film, you know what I mean? Just like, oh, I'm a gifted girl, but what's my place? It reminded me of, like, a very simple, family-friendly version of Good Will Hunting. And just, that movie is very heartwarming, but it's smart, and it's of its time. This movie feels like it's outdated a little bit, and maybe copies a little bit from Good Will Hunting, but it's still so very charming, especially since it stars a little girl, and the little girl who acts in this movie, I should call her by her name. I think it's McKenna Grace. I think that's who I'm referring to, McKenna Grace. She's fantastic. Like, she owns this movie. I love that girl and her performance, and I want to see her in more stuff. She was actually on I, Tonya, which I guess we'll get to later.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely check out Gifted. Very small little film. Loved it. Oh, Your Name came out this year, Ivan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You love anime. You go ahead and talk about this one.
Surprisingly, I don't really have much to say. I mean, yeah, it was fantastic. It's beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Absolutely beautiful.
Gorgeous animation and the writing style.
Oh,
man. I love this movie.
It's a sad movie. It definitely can bring a tear to your eye.
Yeah, it is sad. It's surprising. It has a lot of twists and turns, which I did not expect at all. Like, I could not tell where this movie was trying to go because it just kept twisting and turning in a good way. And it surprised me for an animated film. It's like one of the most successful animated films of all time.
Yeah, let me pull up the numbers on it.
Yeah, it is one of the most successful. Like, anime.
255 million.
And I think if you read, I think is it the highest grossing movie in Japan or close to it, like third? I think the first one's Spirited Away.
Fourth highest all time.
Fourth highest. That's still a big number, man. I think it deserves it. Like I don't see a lot of anime films, but this movie makes me want to. Like, you know, I'm very late to the Studio Ghibli bandwagon, and I feel like this movie is a great successor to that studio. I don't remember who did it or whatever, but that's a fantastic film, and it deserves to be watched.
Who the production company was?
Yeah.
It's Comics Wave.
I've never heard of them.
With Toho as their distributor.
Oh, yeah, Toho. But, I mean, that's Funimation or whatever. That is one of my favorite movies of the year. Your Name. It is so beautiful.
Oh, okay. So, Comics Waves, they've also done a few other movies, which... just to point a few of them out. 5 centimeters per second, very popular, also sad film.
I don't remember. I've never heard of it.
Children Who Chase Lost Voices, and yeah, I mean, there's a few other random stuff, but I mean, Your Name, absolutely fantastic.
Great movie. Check it out. It's finally available on Blu-ray in English and Japanese if you don't prefer dub. But that's a great film, and anyone who hasn't seen it should check it out. Especially if you're into anime. Support that movie.
Wait, are you sure that was 2017?
The English release. The English theatrical release. Yes. Came out just this spring. So yeah, technically it's a 2016 movie because it came out in Japan.
Yeah.
It was released. So that's why I consider it a 2017 movie, because it was theatrically released in North America in English this year. So it does qualify. You can talk about it both years, Ivan.
Yeah, so JJ is...
Yes. He's... Why, Ivan?
I don't know. I can't honestly tell you.
JJ is developing a live-action remake. I mean, it could be good. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as good as this anime is. I mean, if you think about it as like a sci-fi film, I understand why it would intrigue him. Like, that's what JJ is all about, like this sci-fi twists and turns kind of movie. But I don't know. I think he was just hopping off of how popular it was and the success it made, because I think any studio would have seen the success. I mean, you're boasting one of the highest grossing animated films of all time. Obviously, you want to profitize that and, you know, hop on that. And I think just JJ just happened to get it. So, I don't know, Bad Robot. I like you, Bad Robot. Make a good movie.
The very next week, what do we have?
The Fate of the Furious.
Well, you know, shit.
We have an interesting history with the Furious franchise.
Do we?
We saw the 5th one and 6th one. Did you see the 6th one? We saw the 5th one in 2011. After, I think 2011 was a good defining year for us for film, because that was the year I think we gave up on film, and then we saw surprisingly not shitty movies like Rise of the Planet of the Apes and Fast 5.
Yeah.
Fast 5 was a surprisingly interesting movie. Like, it was good. I think 6 was also good. 7, we had to say goodbye to Paul Walker.
Yeah.
And this movie, I think, is a load of shit.
Yeah.
You saw this one, right?
Which one? Is this the one with the submarine?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw this
It's
one.
the one with the submarine. My biggest issue with this movie is the characters. They feel like they don't feel real to me anymore. I mean, around the 5th movie, they all started to feel like superheroes. But this movie, it's like, we can do whatever. Like, Vin Diesel's literally driving a car backwards through, what is it, Brazil? It might not be Brazil. He's driving a car backwards while it's on fire. And I'm like, okay, I'm checking out. Like, this isn't about street racing anymore. It's about superheroes
it's fucking super spies and
shit.
shit.
Jason Statham, and I don't like how Jason Statham turns out to be a good guy in this movie, because he killed one of their friends in the last one, and they're like, oh, it's okay, you're family now because you saved my baby. I'm Vin Diesel and I have a baby now. I don't care about none of that, and a lot of people do, so whatever. Here, going back to Logan Lucky, they already got the heist done, and they're going back into the fire, which you were talking about, the uniforms, the fire department uniforms, and now they're going back. This was surprising to me because it feels like the film's wrapping up, and we can see there's still about half an hour left.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I probably could have shaved off 15 minutes at the end. But I think I like how...
I mean, in an actual Ocean's movie, yeah, this would have been like right towards the end. Like everything would have been figured out. They would have like saw their money and walked away, and they would have fucking had a big scene at the Bellagio where they stare at the fountain and like all leave one by one.
Yeah, but this has a great denouement where you get more time to feel that emotional impact with the rest of the characters. All right, let's get past the spring. Lost City of Z is Charlie Hunnam. What was that? What was he in? Charlie Hunnam?
Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy. He's in a weird little movie with horses. I don't remember what it was about. I did see it. I don't remember it at all. I think I fell asleep. How to Be a Latin Lover. That was apparently popular, I think, with the Latin crowd, Ivan. I don't remember. It's a movie that came out. I didn't see it. It's a movie that came out. Tell if it's good. Guardians of the Galaxy. We're getting into the summer. Yeah. That's a good movie, I think.
I liked it. Same thing. I didn't like it as much as the second one.
The first one?
The first one, I mean. Yeah. I'm sorry. Honestly, the entire... for like the first hour, I was kind of waiting for the villain to show up.
Mm-hmm. The movie starts at the end. Yeah. It's so weird. I like that it is weird, but it is weird. It's weird. It's a weird movie. I have a lot of issues with it. I think we've talked about it a lot. I don't know, just narrative choices.
Yeah.
I don't care how the characters were split up, and I think it's a little too jokey. But a lot of people do love it.
I mean, not necessarily saying it's a bad film.
It's definitely not a bad.
It's not a bad film by far. Just
that first one is so good.
Yeah.
It was a good movie. Definitely looking forward to the sequel now.
Yeah.
Yeah. King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. Why did we need a King Arthur movie? That's so weird.
Was that Charlie Hunnam again?
That was Charlie Hunnam again. Yeah, you're absolutely right. He was King Arthur for some reason. Yeah. That's so weird.
I feel he can play good King Arthur.
He's fine as an actor. He doesn't have a lot of range, but I think it's something like Pacific Rim. He definitely pulls it off. I don't know. I didn't need to see a King Arthur movie. A lot of people defend that, but whatever. I think it's because a lot of people like Guy Ritchie. Oh, she's gonna sing John Denver, Ivan. Oh. Love this scene. She was gonna sing Rihanna.
Yeah.
But then she sung something her dad loved.
It's for her papa.
West Virginia. Something. Alright, I won't butcher the song. The Wall. I know you probably didn't see this movie, but it's a great small little movie by Doug Liman, same guy who directed Edge of Tomorrow.
Wait, is this the one where there's just like a little brick wall or something?
That's the whole movie. Yeah, there's two soldiers, there's a brick wall, and there's a sniper. That's the whole movie. It's very interesting. I think it goes on for a little too long because I mean, obviously, if your premise is so small, there's only so long you can stay invested in it.
Yeah,
and I think it lost me in like the last 20 minutes. But yeah, the whole time the first 70 minutes when you're watching and you're like, oh wow, I wonder how he's gonna get out of this, and it's a cat and mouse game between the main character Aaron Taylor Johnson and the sniper, and you never even get to see the sniper, and it's so interesting the dynamic between them. Cool little independent movie. I'd recommend it if you ever get the chance to see it. Oh, Alien Covenant. I think our interest in the Alien franchise has waned a lot.
It has.
Ever since Prometheus, and even probably before that with Alien vs. Predator and shit like that. I haven't... Did you end up seeing this movie or not?
No,
because Prometheus was a big disappointment for you, right?
Yeah.
They're just very frustrating movies. And I understand why some people would like them, because some people like to have... I guess some people like being frustrated. I don't know. This movie just got me mad. Characters are so stupid. They're so stupid, Ivan. What is this alien? Let me poke it with my face. I don't know.
All right. I'm done.
It gets me mad.
It does. No.
But I like that it gets me mad because at least I'm passionate about how mad I am about it. Yeah. So whatever. Diary of a Wimpy Kid? Nothing to say about Diary. Baywatch came out this year. It's one of the biggest flops.
I also had nothing to say about this.
The Rock.
Zac Efron.
Probably not a great choice for The Rock. In principle, I understand it. It's probably the same thing they were trying to do with Chips. You take an old series, you make it irreverent, just like 21 Jump Street. I think that's exactly what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work. Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's all I want.
It's time for that franchise to die.
It is. It definitely is.
You did see this one?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I didn't know what to think because I didn't see any other Pirates franchises. So I was just
they're all the same movie. Johnny Depp does a thing. That's the movie.
I was just like, man, this is over the top.
It is over the top, and the CG isn't all that great, right? No. With this, there's like pirate sharks or like dead sharks.
It's like zombie pirate sharks and
whatever. That should be the last one. They should make no more of these. I'm sure they make hella money though. Wonder Woman, you know what? Going back a little bit. Baywatch and Pirates of the Caribbean were the movies where the studios were blaming Rotten Tomatoes why they weren't making any money.
Yeah.
I think we talked about that, right?
Yeah.
Stupid. You can't blame critics for the movies not making money because people can make up their own damn mind as to what they want to see. And they don't want to see shit movies. Make good movies, people will see them. Wonder Woman, you should see it.
I should. I still haven't seen it. I have it. I'm just waiting to see it. I've just been slacking. Trying to find time for it.
Oh, you definitely should. It is one of my favorite movies of the year. But I think that's more because it's an important film. It more so than it like breaks any new ground.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like it's important for what it did to the Hollywood industry. It's one of the most successful superhero origin stories, and of course, you know, the female lead and female director, of course. But it's still it's a great movie all the way around. It's a solid Marvel Phase 1 movie.
Yeah, I would agree.
Mm-hmm. Captain Underpants, I'm sure you didn't see. Look, surprisingly, I like this one. Maybe I just have childish humor. Like,
yeah, you know you do.
I'm sure I do. But I actually, you know what? I grew up on the Captain Underpants books. I'm not even going to lie. I did read those books as a kid. And so when they announced this movie, it piqued my interest slightly. It's not shit. Look, it's not a quality film. It's not like Pixar's Coco or whatever. But it's a solid, fun, whatever. Time, whatever. Ooh, The Mummy? Shit.
Ooh, yeah, I heard that was shit.
Shit. I have nothing much more to add than that. I was interested until I just heard bad things about it. That killed Universal. Like their Dark Universe.
Really? Yeah. Weren't they going to make a few other movies too? And...
Yeah, they instantly halted the production on those movies. They're just not going to be made anymore.
Yeah, maybe it's a good thing.
Yep. We got two smaller independent movies for you, Ivan. It Comes at Night. Great little horror film. It feels like it's more of a psychological film. A lot of people are mad that you never really get to see what it is that comes at night, but it doesn't matter because it's all more psychological. And if you're ever into the mood for a good scare, definitely check that one out.
Okay.
Then we got Megan Levy. It's a movie about true story about a Marine who I forget what they're called when they operate the dogs.
Oh, like a handler or something?
Yeah, handler. They sniff for bombs.
Yeah.
Hit me right in the feels.
Oh.
Not a great movie. Doesn't break any new ground. Solid little small movie. I guess I have another one. Beatrice at Dinner. That one's really weird. That one, Beatrice is Mexican and her car breaks down and so she's having a dinner with these white people. It's exactly what it sounds like. This lowly Mexican and these high and mighty white people. It's very pretentious, whatever, but it's interesting. It lost me at the end, but it was interesting.
I guess.
Cars 3, you saw this one. What do you think?
I actually enjoyed it.
It was alright.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it for the fact that it was one of those movies where I don't know, maybe it's just me or something, but like every now and then. Sometimes I want to be a kid again.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm just like, you know what, fuck it. I want to like watch a kids movie or something. Take my niece as an excuse and just kind of get away from life for a second. That was a movie I did, you know. And yeah, I enjoyed it. It was alright.
Yeah, it was alright. I think it was one of the better Cars movies because those movies aren't the best. So
yeah. I don't know. I felt like they had some like self-realization or like they were referencing themselves at the ending where. They were passing on, I guess, a torch of the racer.
Yeah.
From Lightning McQueen to the new girl. And I felt like it's them also trying to say, like, yeah, we're hanging up this franchise.
I hope they do. I hope they don't try and go, maybe she'll be the leader of the... No,
it's over.
It's over. All right, I got 5 shitty movies to you, back to back.
Let's do it.
Rough Night. Scarlett Johansson hangs out with some friends. All right, it's shit. All Eyes on Me, the Tupac movie. It was shit. He looks just like Tupac. Sounds just like Tupac. It's a shitty movie.
Should have been better.
47 Meters Down, the movie with the shark. Total shit. The Book of Henry, the one why Colin Trevorrow was fired off of Star Wars Episode 9. Apparently the movie is shit. Transformers, The Last Night. Look, we've said all we needed to say about Transformers. Fuck that movie.
Fuck that movie.
I got an interesting one for you. The Beguiled. It's Colin Farrell. It's like set in the Civil War. He runs across these women. I don't know. It's a weird little independent film. Whatever.
Wasn't that by the daughter of Ford Coppola, Francis Ford Coppola?
Yeah, Sofia Coppola. She makes interesting movies. I think if you like her taste, you'll probably like this one.
Isn't the whole like family
very strange?
Yeah, aren't they all like in some sort of way related in film?
Yeah, all of them. It's going back since The Godfather with Francis Ford Coppola. Like just all whatever. Interesting movie. The Big Sick is a big independent movie this year. It's about this Indian. I think he's Indian. He's an Indian living in.
So I have this thing where I like having the protagonist and antagonist have like both their justified reasons.
Yeah,
like I like it when I have to kind of think about it for a bit, whether or not like the antagonist is actually bad or if they're justified, and I feel like this movie does it really well.
It was a good John Hughes movie for me. Harkens back to something like Ferris Bueller.
Yeah,
stuff like that. Obviously, people say that, but it really
like,
does.
Didn't they even have like a Ferris Bueller?
Yeah,
scene?
Great movie. Yeah, it's a great movie. I like it. It's a good iteration of Spider-Man. War for the Planet of the Apes. We've obviously discussed our love for this movie.
Yes,
one of our
special
favorites.
place in our hearts, especially us.
One of the best movies of the year. Dunkirk, Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Good movie. Very technical.
I regret not seeing it again.
You should have saw it again.
I saw it again. Background. So they did a special viewing across the nation. 70 mil was it?
Mm-hmm.
70 mil. We were lucky enough to go to one of the theaters in Chicago that had it. What's opening? Were you going opening day?
Yeah, we probably did.
Yeah, we went on opening day, and the theater we saw it at had some issues with the projector.
Like they haven't projected actual film in such a long time that they projected it wrong, and the entire movie was blurry, and we couldn't tell. It just looked like something was off the entire time, and it was because they reissued our tickets back, and I did end up going a second time, which was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
and you should have went.
I regret seeing. I think I was only in town for a little bit. That's why. Yeah.
Dude, seeing it in IMAX, dude, the crystal clear picture is just like fucking pristine, dude. It's insane. I wish I cared more for the characters, but like as a technical movie, like the directing, the editing, the sound design, fantastic. Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets.
They had an interesting opening scene. Have you seen it?
No.
There's an opening scene where it goes through like the space program and like us starting the space, like the entire space station or something.
Yeah.
And continuously adding more and more. It's like different nations joining and becoming peaceful together, and kind of coming together to open up the station for the progression of science.
Yeah. And
eventually, like an alien race comes and like they start adding on their portion to the space station. And
yeah.
It's kind of like every it's like space fantasy person's like dream.
Yeah.
So that was a very nice opening scene. The rest of the movie was shit.
Oh, okay then. Fuck that shit. Girls Trip was surprisingly fine. Like a lot of people love this movie. It's the one with Jada Pinkett Smith and Queen Latifah. They're all hanging out.
Oh yeah.
It's the opposite of Rough Night, where the white girls are hanging out, now the black girls are hanging out.
Yeah.
It was that one was fun. This is the fun version of that movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you want to see girls hanging out, that's the one. Girls Trip. Atomic Blonde, the girls' version of John Wick.
Yeah, how was that?
It was fine. There's a great hallway sequence, and that was about the best part of the movie. Like, she kicked some ass in a hallway. And that was about it. John Wick's probably better. I think it was one of the same directors, yeah. It just felt like more of the same, as opposed to being new, It just felt like, I directed John Wick. I can also direct a girl doing the same thing. I could have done something different. We come back to Sony Animation, the Emoji Movie.
Oh.
Possibly the worst movie the entire year. Look, we only have 15 minutes left in the movie, so we're just going to gun past these shitty ones. Yeah. Right? Detroit.
Oh, okay. Real quick about this movie. This was a really powerful movie.
Detroit. That's so uncomfortable to watch.
No, we both left that theater. It was kind of silent in the car. We're just kind of, you know what? That felt uncomfortable. I felt uncomfortable, and I think that's what they were going for.
Absolutely.
And it did a fan-fucking-tastic job of it.
Yeah, great. It definitely deserves to be seen. Even if you never see it again, it deserves to be seen at least once. Here's an interesting one. The Brigsby Bear. This is so fucking weird. It's with Mark Hamill. It's this kid who's he gets kid. I don't even have words to describe the premise of this movie. The kid. It's really weird. Mark Hamill is a bear. Yeah, look, man, I liked it. It's the weirdest movie I've seen all year, but I really liked it. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, the trailer to this movie doesn't do it any justice. It deserves to be seen at least once. The Dark Tower, probably shit. Idris Elba, yeah. Probably shit. Wind River, great movie, powerful movie about Indian reservations, how there's not statistics for crimes that go on for Indians and Native Americans and Native American reservations. Very powerful, very moving movie. Slow paced, but like the action starts to build up.
I heard it's a slow burn, but very well.
Definitely worth watching. Very powerful. Hannibal Creation is forgettable. You ever seen the first Annabelle?
No.
The Conjuring movies are much better. The Nut Job 2? The Nuttier Job?
All
the
right.
Nuttiest Job. Good Time, a weird movie with Robert Pattinson from the Twilight movies. It was interesting. It's weird, but it's interesting. Ingrid Goes West was the movie I was talking about with Ice Cube's son. He's very good in it. The rest of the movie was really weird. It's about this girl who like stalks this other girl on Instagram, and she goes all the way to California just to stalk her. Yeah. It's the girl from Parks and Rec.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah.
What's her name? Audrey Plaza.
Yeah.
She's good in it. It's just a weird movie.
Yeah.
Hitman's Bodyguard. I think you like it more than I do.
I liked it. It was what it is. It's a shitty popcorn flick. It's a few yucks.
Yeah. Logan Lucky. It was alright. I give it a 10.
I mean, yeah, that's alright.
That's alright. I would never do a commentary track on it or anything.
No, absolutely not. It's weird.
Patty Cake sucked. Is this white girl who wants to do rap? Like, I don't know. It was weird. I don't know why I watched it. Leap, I heard, was ass. It, surprisingly great movie.
Yeah, I don't really see any horror movies. I broke my horror movie rule. Fantastic movie. I kind of stared at the floor most of the time. It was just really scary. Pennywise Dancing Clown, fucking amazing.
Fucking amazing. It's a good horror film, but it's so much more than just a horror film. Yes. Like, it's a good coming of age story for these kids, and I debate whether or not I should include it in one of my favorite movies of the year list because it's so damn good.
It's good. Definitely looking forward to the sequel.
Oh yeah, absolutely. American Assassin, I skipped that one. I heard it's alright. Mother, very fucking divisive film. Very preachy. Has a lot to say about Mother Nature and God. And it's very biblical. I don't know how to recommend this movie because like lots of people either love it or hate it. And I'm somewhere in between. It was alright. I like Darren Aronofsky a lot. So if you're a fan of Darren Aronofsky, I would say to go ahead and give it a shot. Kingsman: The Golden Circle. We did our Kingsman Secret Service commentary track. We shat on this movie. When we do our Kingsman: The Golden Circle commentary, I'm sure we will shit on it even further.
To me, this is probably the biggest disappointment of the year for me.
Yeah, and it's definitely Matthew Vaughn's worst film.
All right, real quick, back to the movie. I love this. This is where they're explaining like the secrets and like the back plan that they had going on the whole time.
Very good reveal.
The two Lucky brothers, yeah.
Yeah, very good reveal for going what's not.
All right, what's up?
The Lego Ninjago movie, whatever.
Yeah.
Stronger. It's a great performance by Jake Gyllenhaal about the Boston bombing where this guy lost his legs. It's a great movie that tries to tell you, look, even though we idolize real people in real life, they are still people who are flawed and damaged. So it tries to tell you who and who shouldn't be considered heroes. Great movie. Battle of the Sexes. Steve Carell and Emma Stone. They play tennis during the 1970s. It was fun, but like it was whatever.
Yeah.
It was fun. Steve Carell's getting a lot of Oscar contention for his performance, and he was okay. So, Loving Vincent, the movie you wanted to see last week, I saw it. Didn't like it.
Really?
It was really boring. I thought the movie was going to be about Vincent, and it's more about like these vignettes of people who had a certain perspective on his life. So you don't really get a.
I mean, if you love his art style, is it worth a watch?
I mean, if you're interested in him, I definitely feel like I know more about him. I just wish the movie was like him as the main character going through these things instead of like people telling their version of his story.
Okay.
Great art. The art is beautiful. Like how it's designed and everything, beautiful. Victoria and Abdul, it's a weird movie. It's a true movie about like Queen Victoria, and she had this Indian guy help her out throughout her regime. Look, it's very strange, but apparently it was a true story that it was only uncovered like about 4 years ago. All the shit that happened like 100 years ago. So it was an interesting, fun little time. Whatever. You have 2 hours to kill. American Made. I'm surprised you still haven't seen this movie.
I really want
Tom Cruise. I think it's finally coming out on Blu-ray. You gotta rent it. You gotta check it out.
Okay, how much actual aviation is in there? Because you know me, I'm a big aviation buff.
So it doesn't focus on airplanes, but he's flying a lot.
Yeah, it's cool. That's good enough for me.
Tom Cruise flying a lot. It's fun. It's a fun movie.
Good enough for me.
I definitely like it. Flatliners, I heard was shit.
Yeah.
Blade Runner 2049. I love this movie.
Really?
It's one of my favorites.
I have to see it.
Look, if you're a big fan of Blade Runner, this movie is better than the first. So if you're not a big fan of Blade Runner, it's still better than the first. So it's still very weird. It's too long, but oh man, it's a sci-fi classic, I think.
Okay.
It does some weird shit, but I don't know. Obviously, I like weird movies, so I don't know. The Mountain Between Us, I heard, was just ultimately forgettable. There's everything to say about Justice League. Like, no one saw it. It was supposed to be the DC's Avengers, and it just wasn't. There's not much more to say, You didn't even end up seeing it yet, right?
No, I haven't. I refuse to. I'm just done. I don't want to support them anymore until they can prove themselves or just give it a break for a while and reboot it. I'm done.
Yeah, DC, they definitely need to rethink how they're working everything. And for keeping up with the movie, it ended. We're at November already, so we're just gonna rush through these movies and then probably wrap up the rest of Logan Lucky. Wonder, it's a nice little movie about a kid who's ugly as hell, and so that is the premise of the movie. I'm not trying to be mean. Like, that is the premise of the movie. He's trying to learn how to fit in and accept himself for who he is, even though he has like a facial disability. Like, that's the whole movie. It was surprisingly, I thought it was gonna be like shit. It reminded me of Gifted because it's like a 90s heartwarming little movie about accepting who you are. It was fine. Coco, I love this movie. It's one of my favorites of the year.
Yeah, I heard so.
It's Mexican culture, Ivan. You haven't seen this yet?
No.
Perfect date movie. You should take your girlfriend to see it. It's very heartwarming. My cousin, who doesn't like seeing movies, who's like huge biking. No Josh.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Harley guy. You're a typical Harley guy.
Typical Harley guy. He fucking loved the shit out of this movie. Yes, it speaks to you. The music is great. It's very heartwarming. One of Pixar's best. Darkest Hour, Winston Churchill, Gary Oldman. It's fine. A lot of people love it. It's one of a lot of people's favorite movies of the year. I thought it was fine. It's definitely more about Gary Oldman's performance as Winston Churchill that really makes this movie shine.
Okay.
Call Me by Your Name, I have issues with because it is being described as the best movie of the year. And I don't love it. I like it. I have mixed feelings about it. And guess what, Ivan? I posted my review on it, right? I got a comment saying, because I did not love this movie about 2 gay guys, that I clearly had a right-winged agenda and was trying to impose heterosexualism on my review, and that I should get over myself.
That totally sounds like you.
That sounds like me, right?
Absolutely.
I totally sound like I have a right-wing agenda, don't I, Ivan?
Absolutely.
Look, man, if you disagree with how I feel about a movie, that's fine. But don't, assume that I have an agenda, because then you're not hearing out what I have to say about the movie. You're just assuming you know something about me when you don't. Yeah. You're just I feel like this guy went into my review expecting me to love it, and as soon as I said I didn't love it, everything I said after that was just pushed to the side. You know what I mean?
Doesn't matter.
Like, it has nothing to do with the fact that these guys are gay. It's just I felt like the movie was made in such a way that didn't exactly adhere to me. And I still gave the movie a good review. I just didn't give it a great review. So I'm sorry I offended him on some personal level because I didn't love a movie, Ivan. ultimately, it's okay to love a movie that people don't like, just like it's okay to not love a movie that people love. Would you agree with that sentiment?
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely, positively.
Good, because now I'm moving on with my right-winged agenda, of course.
Oh, of course. Yes, definitely. We're both...
The Disaster Artist.
I need to see this movie. I am really upset. Real quick, haven't been in Chicago that long. I've been dying to see this movie when it came out. Where I'm actually at, it's not really playing it anywhere. So, unfortunately for me, I've been able to see it.
Now that you're in the city, you should definitely check it out. We saw The Room specifically so that we could see The Disaster Artist. So
I will definitely check it out. Good
movie, great performances by James Franco and team. The Shape of Water, Guillermo del Toro. It's one of his best films. I think it's one of his best since Pan's Labyrinth. Have you ever checked out Pan's Labyrinth?
Yeah.
It's like just right on par with that movie.
Really?
It's a beautifully made film with a lot to say about like outcasts and trying to find your place in society. It was set during the 1960s. It gets a little preachy and a little too heavy-handed with the religious themes for me.
Okay.
But the imagery and the music have all resonated with me in a way that I didn't expect to. So even though I didn't give the film an overwhelmingly loving review, it might still be one of my favorite movies of the year. And then we got I, Tonya, the ice skating run. The ice skating 1.
Yeah. Great
performances. I love this movie. The humor was fantastic. It has a good pacing to it. Like, I don't know fucking shit about figure skating, Ivan. Like, I can't skate for shit. But this movie really gave me an appreciation for the art of it. If you ever checked it out, when it comes out on Redbox. Star Wars The Last Jedi. This one's interesting.
Yeah.
Because you haven't even seen it yet.
No, I haven't.
And I don't think, if the more you wait, you probably just won't even end up seeing it in theaters.
No,
which is interesting.
I definitely will see it soon. I've been trying to see it just whenever I can see it. Most of the show times have been sold out. I'm gonna see regardless. I'm just gonna suck it up and go, sit in the front row.
This one has really divided the fan base.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing.
That's why I'm really interested to see what your take on it is, because a lot of people hate it because they're true hardcore Star Wars fans and they have an idea of what the movie should be. And you're not big on Star Wars. You enjoy it for what it is.
I can tell a reference from it.
Right.
Know.
But like, since it wasn't like a piece of your childhood, that you have an idea of what Star Wars should be, that's not going to affect you when they take it in these weird directions. Yeah. I still want to see your opinion on it, though.
Yeah, definitely.
It's definitely too long. I have issues with it. Ferdinand, whatever. Beyond Skyline? I forget this is a movie. Do you remember that shitty 2010 movie Skyline?
No.
Oh my god, I wish you remembered. It's such a shitty movie. They made a sequel to this shitty movie. I don't know why. I don't know. We'll move on. Jumanji? I heard that's not shit.
I heard it's not shit.
You want to go see Jumanji?
I'll be down actually. I'm not gonna lie.
Might be down. I might be down to see that one. The Greatest Showman. Hugh Jackman singing.
Musical,
Musical. Ringling Brothers. I heard it was fine. Might be a good date movie, I assume.
Yeah, she likes musicals, so I
definitely take her to see that one then. Pitch Perfect 3 maybe might be up her alley too.
No. I
forget this movie exists. Like, I have not seen barely any marketing for it, and it came out already.
Yeah, no.
I don't like this franchise.
Don't either.
Aka, shut the fuck up.
All right, downsizing.
You wanted to see this, right?
Yeah.
It's fine. I liked it. A lot of people. It has like a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. I liked it though. I think a lot of people don't like it because it's a lot more preachy than the trailers let on.
Yeah.
Like, it has a lot to say about saving the world and then the environment and recycle. And it kind of loses track of the whole shrinking idea. But I still liked it. I liked the light tone of it and everything. It had some jokes that were hit and miss. Father Figures, I hear, is whatever. The Post, I definitely got to check that one out.
Definitely want to see this.
Steven Spielberg. I mean, obviously, you put Steven Spielberg, Tom Hanks, and Meryl Streep in a movie. You got to see it no matter what it is. Yeah. Especially what the subject matter is, though. Got to see that movie. Bright, this Netflix movie.
I saw it.
What did you think about it?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And again, I didn't go into it was having like high expectations.
Yeah.
I went in there, it was pretty low. I knew it was gonna be probably shitty. I enjoyed it.
Should I check it out?
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All the Money in the World. That one I gotta check out. The Ridley Scott, this whole Kevin Spacey, Christopher Plummer thing. That alone makes me want to see this movie.
Yeah.
But on top of that, I hear it's pretty good.
Really?
Yeah. So obviously the story with Getty. I still forgot his name. I forgot his name last week, and I still don't remember his name. Getty. He wouldn't pay the ransom for his son, even though he's the richest man in the world. That's an interesting premise. Like I want to see that. I got to see how it plays out. Molly's Game. That's the Aaron Sorkin one. With I guess she has a gambling thing.
Yeah.
Look, I love Aaron Sorkin. He's one of my favorite writers. He wrote Steve Jobs, which was my favorite movie of 2015. I know you like The Newsroom, which he has a big hand on. So I want to check that one out, definitely. Yeah. And we made it to the last movie, Phantom Thread, which is... I'm sure it's going to be one of these artsy movies. It's actually Daniel Day-Lewis's last performance ever. He's going to retire to maintain a life of shoe cobbling.
Really?
He did that for a while. He like moved and became a shoe cobbler. I guess that's his second passion.
Maybe. Good on him. I mean, good.
If that's what he wants to do.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
All right.
I hope he enjoys his life.
Honestly. He was a hell of an actor when he was. There Will Be Blood, right?
Yeah, There Will Be Blood. What was it? New York, Gangs of New York.
Yeah, Lincoln.
Yeah.
Great actor. Oh. Phenomenal. Sad to see him go, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll definitely check out his last performance.
I'd buy a pair of shoes if I could from him.
That'd be interesting. If you'd recognize him, Like he might transform himself, He's so good. He's an actor. He might actually be just a shoe cobbler and no one will ever recognize him ever again. Well, that wraps up all the movies that came out this year. Sorry we took so long, longer than we expected. There was a lot of movies that came out this year. A lot of good ones, a lot of shitty ones.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, man. And you just gotta wait through the shit to get out. The good
Always
stuff.
do. There are some fantastic movies that we referenced, and if there's any movie that we referenced that sounds interesting to you, definitely go check it out.
Yeah.
If we shat on any movie that you loved, we're sorry. That's fine. It's okay for us to have different opinions. If we loved a movie that you didn't think was great, that's also fine. Yeah. Movies are all subjective. Ivan, you don't like all the movies that I like. I don't like all the movies that you like.
No.
We're still here.
Southland Tales.
All right, maybe you should reevaluate your taste in movies.
It's one of those things where I'm scared to. I don't want to ruin my childhood, so I'm not going to.
We'll get there eventually. Logan Lucky was a great movie.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about watching it again, even though we were talking about other movies?
It made me want to see it, again.
Actually, watch it?
I might actually go back home. It's pretty late at night right now. I might actually go back home, rewatch this, and just enjoy it.
It's a solid film. I love the directing. I love the style. I love the look aesthetically, the performances. It's all very, very, very good.
Fantastic movie.
Steven Soderbergh. I'm so glad we have him back. All right, I guess that'll wrap it up. Ivan, do you have any last words?
No, I don't. I mean, well, yeah, I do actually. Like David said, I mean, if you have anything you want to discuss with us, go ahead, drop us a comment, say hi, tell us how much you like our, our stuff. We had a fan recently do that,
Jason,
shout out to you, man. It definitely helps. It really gives us the motivation to keep doing it. Me and David, we love doing this, and we're gonna keep on doing it. But just knowing somebody's out there and they enjoy it,
yeah. We always get comments, with people who don't enjoy us, and that hurts a little bit. But to hear from people that really do enjoy us, that makes the excitement all the better. The good far outweighs the bad for us, and they just people like that just keep us motivated to keep on doing what we're doing. And if you want to keep on keeping on with us, keeping track with what we're doing, you can find us on iTunes. You can find us at SoundCloud, on YouTube, and at Bandcamp, at everything at Not the Best Podcast. If you want to support us in any way, you don't have to, but if you would like to, Bandcamp, just donating to us for the download links is the best way that you can help support us to keep on doing these commentary tracks. We would love the support, but again, it's not necessary. You can find my own personal reviews on David Lopez Reviews. You can call me a right-wing asshole if you want to. That's fine. You're wrong, but it's fine. I just appreciate the views. That's about it, right, Ivan?
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, guys. We really loved Logan Lucky. We love 2017. We hardly knew ya, huh?
Yeah. It's been a weird year for movies. Fantastic. A few of them are pretty good. A lot of them pretty bad. So
we're looking forward to 2018.
Yeah.
We got some interesting ones coming out, and a whole other year of commentary tracks to come out on.
How about we do a what's up for 2018? We do
looking forward to, like a companion piece to this one.
Yeah.
Looking forward to what's coming up next.
The first half of the year, the first 3 quarters, and
yes. I would enjoy doing that, very much so.
If you guys would enjoy that, let us know.
Yeah, go ahead, leave comments in any of the social media platforms that I just said, or go ahead and shoot us an email at notthebestmedia@gmail.com. Again, I'm David.
And I'm Ivan.
And we're not the best, but we're all right. All right, everyone, thanks for listening. Appreciate it.
Bye. 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 Bye.